Hello, and it's time now for the next update. I think it's build update number 5. Or is it number 6? It's this build update. I'm sticking one of those fancy editing things here and tell you which update it is. But anyway, what we're doing is we're getting the weathering done. And we're going to make a start on the diorama base. Well, maybe not such a diorama base as opposed to just the base, okay? Display base. I'm moving away from the Das clay and going back to the filler. Remember, I started using this because the Das clay got expensive, and then I stopped doing dioramas for a while. Started going on doing the smaller ones, little vignette type things, and then you need a bit of Das clay for that. The plaster won't work for that. But for something of this size, the plaster is perfect, absolutely perfect. I mix the already made up stuff. I mix it with a bit of builder's PVA glue. Makes it more dense, so it's less chalky. You know, if you use it just as it is, it comes out pretty chalky. But by putting some white PVA glue through it, it helps. It takes the chalkiness away. It makes it nice and hard. So what I'm doing is placing the tank where I want it. So I decided that's where I want it. Okay. I marked then in the board. That's the position where the tank is. Okay, so I want a little bit built up a little bit extra there and built up a bit here, so it's kind of down a lane or something. They're having a cigarette break, basically. That's the thing. That's the picture I'm trying to kind of portray. With the base then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand off the sides of it, cover it with tape so they don't get any more damaged or discoloured or anything like that. This section is going to be a road, so it's going to be pretty flat then here. Once I got that area there, the reason for marking out where the tank was going to be was purely so I know where to build up the sides, so I know I can just build up a little bit extra up there, build up a bit extra here, kind of reasonably flat then here. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of going for. How I'm going to decorate it after that, I haven't the faintest idea. I might even mix a bit of paint in with the filler, just to kind of get it brown rather than white. As regards the figures, I'm just going to put a bit of blue tack or something on their faces, then dull coat them, because I want the faces still kind of glossy. So that's the figures. That's all I'm going to do, just dull coat them. I've given them a wash and cleaned them off and everything. I gave them a kind of a black wash, went in all the creases of the trousers and the jackets and things. Then used cotton swab, cleaned off what I didn't want left in in the creases. You know what I'm talking about. With this now, I'm just going to give it a black wash first, see where it goes from there, what else it needs. I don't have any particular system that I go by. I just add things and say if it needs a bit more, what am I kind of going for. Once I've given it all its washes and any bit of extra damage and things like that, then I'll dull coat it. Once I have it dull coated, I know I'll do anything rusty. Okay, so we've got the tracks, we've got the exhaust pipes here, so there's what's rusty. Everything else then just kind of try and make it look as natural and real as I possibly can. And that's the whole purpose of it, is just try and make it look natural, try and make it look metal and real. Once I get there, then I just stop. So I just try all the different things. So I start off with a wash, dry brushing, all that. Use all different methods. So we'll see how I go with this one. We'll start off with the wash. We'll see how that dries in and how that's going to look like. Okay, so that'll be the next thing I get into. I'll give that a black wash, get it all cleaned off and everything else, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay. Alright, Okay, I'm after giving it now a black wash, and hopefully you'll be able to see how well that came out. Okay, all the wheels now, they look nice, and especially the Zimmerit came out lovely in the Zimmerit. It really made the Zimmerit stand out. The engine deck made it nice and dirty, and you know, just generally worn looking. I did a little bit of chipping earlier on that now, so I've got to go do another little bit now in a minute. As you see, I have the base texture there for the rust. Okay, I used that typhus corrosion. I must get another bottle of that because I'm out of it. But everything that wash now worked perfect. Okay, so everything's going to plan. Still very shiny as you can see, but that's not what this thing's all about. Is getting the wash to make these little areas stick out, and they do. Okay, and it works. Okay, so let me have a quick look at the turret. Same idea again on the turret. Okay, the wash has gone into all those little crevices there on the Zimmerit. Made the Zimmerit stick out much better. Now I know that probably the shine that's on these there, there's a fair bit of a shine on it, but they are still gloss coated. They're not as shiny as what they're appearing on camera now, because you know, got lights and everything underneath them, but they are quite shiny at the moment. But dull coat will get rid of all that. That's all grand there by the number, as you can see. The way that number bedded in, so it's literally like as if it was painted on. Really happy with how that came out. Okay, and the Zimmerit then, it just looks natural, except for here at the door, which I kind of made a bit of a hames of, but I'm happy enough with the rest of it. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of mild chipping on this now. I'm going to use flat black XF1, a very very small brush. Just put a couple of little chips and a little bit of wear and tear into it. It's needed, shall we say. So I'll get on it with that. We'll have a look at that then, and then what I'll do is I'll actually do that, and then more than likely I'll dull coat the whole lot. We'll have a look at what it's like then with the dull coat, and see how we proceed from there. Whether it needs a bit of a dry brush, probably will. The tracks need to get a wash with the old rusty wash. So we still have plenty to do, plenty to do. And we get it looking decent. So I'll get those done. We'll come back and we'll have a look at what that is. Okay, so here we have it now, and it's been dull coated. So the next step now is to get the tracks done and get them nice and rusty-ish looking. Same here with the two exhaust tips, and one or two other little spots around the place. I want to do a little bit of rusty marks. Not too much, because I want to have a reasonably good nick. Okay, now how am I going to do the rust wash? Start off, I get a little container. I use these things. Okay, don't tell Abby, but they are Peppa Pig make and bake pie dish. Robbed them from Abby a long time ago. I had two of them, I'm down to one now. I don't know, she must have robbed one back. So now we're going to make our rust wash. I use this, which is sticking something onto it, right? It's a Revel 6 pigments in a box. Pick them up reasonably cheap. I think that was around a tenner, and you get 6 little pots of pigment like that. Okay, so what I want to get is the rust wash, right? So I start off with rust red. Okay, now into the bottom of that already, you see I've got a tiny little bit of fluid of kinds. Now what that is literally one drop of liquid soap. Okay, so I'll put in some of my rust red pigments. Okay, now I also want to add in a tiny little bit of the sand pigments. Okay, so I don't want to have the rust too dark, but I don't want it too light either. So a mixture of the both of them, because I can darken it with a bit of a black wash. I can lighten it off if it's not too dark with another few bits of pigments to it. Right, so we add some water. Sorry, just in case I'm not showing you what I'm doing. I can eat it. I wasn't looking up at the screen. So in here, just in case I didn't show, I had a small drop of liquid soap, to which then I added some rust red pigments and some sand yellow pigments. Okay, sand yellow. And then added some water. So I'll mix that up. Okay. I don't want a heavy sludge, because I have the base colour of that, and I'm happy with the base colour that I put down on it. If you remember, I painted the tracks, painted everything originally with a whole red. Then when I was doing the detail painting, I tried to avoid the tracks as much as I possibly could, and I put a netto black then over that. Okay, so that's after giving me a kind of a nice metal look as it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on the pigments, and now we get that into view. Just show you a little bit of it, and then I'll just turn it off. Oops. Okay, just leave it on like that and leave it dry in. Okay, now I want a bit on the side there as well, where the piece has been blown off, so I'm not too worried about getting a bit there. Actually, I wanted to get a bit there. Right, so I go over the rest of the model now, where I want it. Do try and avoid, if you're doing it, putting it on an area you don't want, because it is pretty hard to remove. It removes easy enough, but the remnants of it will always be there. Okay, so I'll get that done. We'll come back and have a look at that. Now I'm after getting all that done. Okay, and as you can see, in the areas that this is dried out already, it doesn't look so bad, but it's quite red where it hasn't dried out yet. And it dries in, it's quite subtle. It is quite subtle, it's nice. After doing the same now on the tracks on the sides. Okay, so what you do is you just have to leave that dry in, leave that set in. There's nothing really more you can do to it, because you can't really tell what colour it's going to be until it dries in. It does dry in a lot lighter than what it looks. When it goes on first, you say to yourself, God, that's going to be horrible, and then it starts to dry in and you go, oh, it's actually not that bad. I might add another little bits here and there. So I'm going to leave that dry in and we'll see what needs to be done to it. Might need just a bit of lightening off on the redness. It might need just a bit more touching up in the redness, we don't know yet. So leave that go, and I'll come back to it when that's ready. We'll show you and see what it looks like. Oh, let's get some light on that, and here we go. Here's the tracks with their rust wash done. Okay, and it's dried in, and I'm happy now with the colour, believe it or not. That is actually quite happy with that indeed. Okay, so a nice close up of it, and on the exhaust tips there. As you can see, nicely rusted up looking. Okay, so also have it on the tracks there on the turret itself. Okay, now they're not finished yet. They still have a bit more. I got to do a sort of a bit of a silverish coloured dry brush on them, just to get up sort of a metallic look on it. I'll give it a silver dry brush in a couple of other places as well. On the toe ropes, I might even use a graphite pencil on the toe ropes actually. It's a bit easier to get into. But on the tracks I'll give a silver, bit of a dry brush with silver. Is there much else needed to be done to it? We'll see how the base comes together and see what more is needed. As you know yourself, all these things are always a work in progress. When you're in the process of doing it, you know, plans change because they do. Like the dial, I originally planned the dial going to be flat. Now I'm thinking of putting a wall there and having it a bit more straighter on. You know, plans are there to be changed. So I'll get the highlighting done on that, and we'll have a look at that then when that's done. Right, now so I've made a start on the base for it. As you can see, I had my original plan out the window. New start, new plan. Everything is subject to change. I just didn't like the old idea. It was a bit too basic, and I wanted it just a little bit better. I wanted basic, but I didn't want it too flat, like. So I put on a section of wall. Okay, now that's glued onto the base. Okay, started with that. I'm going to do a bit of damage, more damage onto the wall. Drill a few bullet holes through it as well. The tank then is going to be, shall we say, like that. Well, it's actually going to be facing the other way. Okay, I'm going to have it like so on the road, but on the path of wherever it's going to be, beside the wall. The figures then, I'm going to have the figures. One chap is going to be sitting here, okay, having a cigarette, talking to the commander. We're going to have a chap up here, and then we're going to have our two lads here. Okay, one guy, the guy with the cup. Okay, he's going to be there with that. There we go. There we go. He's going to be there with that. And the other fellow's going to be sitting here. Sure, we might as well stick him on, give you an idea of what it's going to look like. He's going to be in, and commander then down here, sort of chatting away with both of them. Okay, so that's the scene. It's basically a break before battle. Quick cigarette break, hang around waiting for something to do. Everything's ready to go. All you got to do is just mount up and fake off and do what they have business they have to do. What I got left to do then, as you can see, right, well, we can take all that back off again now. Still a bit more to do on the tank. I want to get I put a bit more rust wash on, so I'm gonna rub that in and give it a black wash over that again, well, it just wasn't deep enough for me, okay, as in the rate of rust. Okay, it was just a bit too wishy-washy, so I wanted it a bit stronger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill that area here sort of with plaster, bring it up to probably about there. Okay, have it in there. So I'm going to slightly down then in the road then section. This is all going to be kind of roadish or whatever. I have made, with the extra track links, I made myself a little stamper, okay, track stamper, mark out the tracks, okay. So if I can push that into it, I don't care if I get plaster on it. Whereas on the tracks, I don't want to get the plaster onto it, not just yet, it's coloured and all that. So I can push in with these, I can follow down the tracks with them. So it's a handy little item. Just the only thing to remember is, because the tracks, they are slightly different when they come to the end, so when I'm doing it, make sure that I reverse it around for that side. So that's about it. Just got to get the plaster down now on that. Bit more damage on the wall. That's it. The board itself is just a black board. Give it a coat of PVA glue so that the plaster will stick easier to it. I've had problems with that before. Tried to put plaster straight into the blackboard, and for some reason it wouldn't stick properly. Kind of kept lifting and things. So by putting the base of this down, for some reason it works. It does. Don't ask me why, but it does. Taped around the sides because I don't want to get any plaster or things onto the wooden edge of it. Okay. And now I can carry on and do my whatever needs to be done. So I'm going to get stuck into that now and get that done. Get it all ready then for painting on this. Work ahead, do that, and we'll have a look at that then. Tank should be finished at that stage then as well. So the next clip, more than likely, will be the final reveal. I will take quick photos and put them on the end of this, photos of how this will it will build up, rather than sort of stopping and starting and showing you each step. It's quite simple. So what I'll do is I'll just take a couple of photos at each stage. Okay, so next step, like I said, more than likely will be the final reveal, and then after that, then we'll have the step-by-step photographs of the building of the dio. Okay. Right, so there you've seen the photos of the dio being made. Okay, the base. It was very, very simple. Just got some small A4 sized chalkboard, kids chalkboard. You pick them up in the pound shop. Built a little wall section, broken up wall. Put down plaster. I mixed some brown paint in with the plaster just to make it brown, so it wasn't white, in case anything scratched off it. It wouldn't be pure white, it'd be kind of slightly brownish underneath. Came out more of a tan than a brown. When that dried, then, well, when it was almost dry, but it was still, you could sort of still indent into it, I went across it with my little track making tool, my little piece of excess track. Put them all together, made a little holder for them, so I'm sort of a track stamper. Got one of the figures, used footprints, stuck them into the thing, just basically covered the dio with it. Tracks, tank tracks and footprints. Then I just used different colours paints until I got something that I was happy with. Ended up with a kind of a mixture of sort of a blacky brown, a dark earth colour, which I was happy with. Once that had set, then bits of green in places. Do you know what I mean? I used brush strokes and got it all kind of mixed up, so it was a little thing. When that dried anyway, I dry brushed it with buff titanium. Then I added some greenery and some rubble, and basically that was it. It was simple as that. It was just kind of add bits on, take bits off, see what works, what didn't work, and I'm happy enough with the finished outcome. So everything is assembled, and it's time now for the final reveal. So I hope you like it. I do. If you like it, let me know in the comments box below, and if you don't like it, let me know in the comments box below as well. So for your entertainment or your viewing pleasure being a very broad term, here's the finished dial of the Tiger 1 Late from TAMIYA with the Ace Panzer crew. Okay. And there she is, the finished article. Like I said, I'm happy enough with it. Would have been nice if the tank had a full interior, but it didn't. Still ended up a nice kit. It was a nice kit to make, very enjoyable to make, I must admit. And I'm quite happy with the final result of it. Tank itself went very easy together, and the dia base, I just explained that there to you. Quite easy and quite simple, nothing extravagant. So there she is. Okay, I'll give her one last little twirl and we'll zoom in to one or two little places just so you can get kind of an idea of it. Okay. The vehicle, like I said, itself was very enjoyable to make. Oh, I'm after getting some plaster on the bloody area. You just notice that now. Typical, isn't it? Always one last little piece. But overall, I'm happy. I am happy. Everything turned out well. So it's time now to figure out what I'm going to do next. So stay tuned to the channel, and I'm sure in the next day or two we'll have an unboxing up and me starting on the next project. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with that. Don't forget to, like I said, leave a comment, give us a like or a dislike. It's up to you, whatever you like. I mean, I can't tell you whether you like it or not. I know I like it. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with how everything turned out. The figures, they're quite nice, they're not bad at all. There's nothing bad I can say about it, you know, about the kit itself. Yeah, it could have done with a bit of an interior, but you know, all things considered, most kits don't have an interior. And it's very rare that you do get ones with an interior, and the ones with interiors are very expensive. So there she is anyway, she's all finished, and I'm really happy with how it all turned out. I must say that the camera is coming up quite red there on the rust. It's not that red actually, it is quite brown. It's the I don't know, it's the redness in the computer really shows up. Like my toolbox there shines out really bright red, and it's actually a very dark red. So don't know how to kind of explain that one away, to be honest with you. It's just that the red is very red. So I'm going to leave you with that, lads. Don't forget to stay tuned to the channel for the next unboxing and the next updates and things like that. Thank you for watching, thank you for taking your time out. I'll catch you in the next one. In the meantime, stay safe and go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. It's John signing off and saying I'll catch you on the next one, lads. Stay safe.